Welcome to our channel. We are so glad you found your way here. Let us help you fall asleep. Let's begin with the Gemonian Steps, where fallen ambition meets the quiet Tiber in ancient Rome. Take a slow, deep breath in and release it. Let the noise of today fall away as we step back, not just hours or years, but centuries, into the vast theater of crime and punishment in ancient Rome. If you genuinely like our videos, please hit like and subscribe. Historical significance permeates the Gemonian Steps, a monumental site deeply entwined with the narrative of ancient Rome. These steps, leading down to the Tiber River, served as a pathway for the deceased, particularly those whose lives were marked by scandal or treachery. Executed criminals and the politically marginalized were cast down here, their remains discarded in the flowing waters below. This region symbolizes not only the physical ascent and descent of political ambition, but also the moral decay that often accompanied it. Roman society, with its emphasis on virtue and honor, found a stark contrast in the fate of those who met their end along these steps. It became a chilling reminder of the consequences of power struggles, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of status. The cold stone facade, worn by centuries of neglect and the elements, silently witnesses the echoes of whispered tensions among the elite. Adjacent to the steps, the Tiber flows with an unyielding presence, its waters carrying away the remnants of history and ambition. This river, a lifeline for the city, juxtaposes the despair of those cast aside, allowing the city to flourish above, while concealing its darker undercurrents. The Gemonian Steps thus stand as a silent sentinel, guarding the stories of ambition, downfall, and the inexorable passage of time. Situated near the heart of ancient Rome, the Gemonian Steps provide a vital reference point for numerous key landmarks. These steps lead down from the Arcs, a significant part of the Capitoline Hill, descending towards the Tiber River, which curves through the city, cradling its legacy. Just a short distance away lies the Forum Romanum, the bustling center of public life, where political, social, and economic activities converged. This proximity underscores the steps' role as a threshold between the elevated aspirations of power and the river's quiet currents below. Nearby, the majestic Palatine Hill looms, its storied slopes once home to emperors and the elite. The juxtaposition of the Gemonian Steps against this iconic backdrop enhances their historical weight. As individuals traversed these steps, they often found themselves in stark contrast between lofty ambitions and the sobering finality that awaited at the river's edge. The visibility of the steps from the surrounding structures allows for reflections on the historical significance of public spectacle and punishment. As the bodies of the condemned were displayed here, the flowing waters of the Tiber silently absorbed the echoes of these moments, intertwining the fates of the ambitious and the fallen. In this setting, the layers of history unfold, revealing the complex interplay of life and death in ancient Rome. The construction of the Gemonian Steps exemplifies the architectural prowess of ancient Rome, showcasing techniques that merged functionality with aesthetic appeal. This monumental structure, designed to facilitate the passage of the deceased, was meticulously crafted from local travertine, a stone favored for its durability and ease of carving. Each block was cut with precision, ensuring a seamless fit that has endured centuries of wear. The steps ascending toward the Capitoline Hill were not merely a means of transportation but a statement of civic pride. The use of a slight incline allowed mourners to navigate the ascent with relative ease, while the broadness of the steps accommodated the processions that would often swell with participants. Supporting walls flanking the structure were carefully laid to withstand the forces of time, their robust design reflecting the Romans' understanding of engineering principles. Emphasis was placed on proportion and symmetry, ensuring that each element of the steps contributed to an overall harmony within the urban landscape. Decorative features, such as inscriptions and reliefs, adorned the surface, conveying messages of reverence and remembrance. The careful alignment with key landmarks in Rome reinforced its significance as both a functional thoroughfare and a symbolic passage, embodying the enduring connection between the living and the dead in this remarkable civilization. Steps in Roman culture often served as powerful symbols of both ascension and descent, a physical manifestation of the journey between worlds. Each ascent could represent a rise in status or a spiritual elevation, guiding individuals towards temples, public forums, and other esteemed locations. Conversely, descents frequently indicated a transition into the underworld, a reminder of mortality and the inevitable return to the earth. This duality resonates deeply within the architecture of the Gemonian Steps, carved from stone. Each step signifies not only the physical act of moving upwards or downwards, but also the spiritual journeys undertaken by those who traversed them. The act of climbing symbolizes ambition and aspiration, while descending evokes contemplation of fate and the afterlife. Such symbolism was integral to the collective psyche of ancient Romans, reflecting their beliefs about existence and the afterlife. The steps acted as a conduit, a space where the boundaries between the living and the departed began to blur. Elected officials, citizens, and mourners alike utilized these passages, reinforcing the cultural understanding of their interconnectedness within society. The Gemonian Steps. The Gemonian Steps served as a silent witness to the lives of numerous historical figures, each leaving an indelible mark on this region. Among them, the infamous Lucius Cornelius Sulla stands out. As a Roman general and dictator, he orchestrated political purges, with many of his enemies meeting their fate upon these steps. His reign entrenched a legacy of power struggles, encapsulated within the stone that whispered the tales of ambition and downfall. Alongside Sulla, the tragic figure of Julius Caesar finds relevance. His assassination in 44 BC ignited a series of events that would forever alter the course of Rome's history. Although removed from these steps in the final moments of his life, the echoes of his political decisions reverberated throughout the city, shaping public discourse and actions leading to his demise. The quietude of this space also cradled the aftermath of significant uprisings, including those led by figures such as Spartacus, whose revolt against the Roman Republic resonated with the voices of the oppressed. Each death, mourned and recorded, contributed to this region's profound understanding of fate and consequence. As the Tiber flows steadily nearby, it carries away the remnants of ambition, leaving behind only the silence of history, punctuated by the weight of human experience. The Tiber River served as the lifeblood of ancient Rome, weaving through the heart of the city, nourishing both its populace and infrastructure. This essential waterway provided access to resources vital for agriculture, trade, and sustenance. Its banks, once bustling with activity, facilitated the movement of goods, connecting the Romans to distant lands and cultures. Settlements sprang up along its course, thriving due to the fertile soil enriched by seasonal flooding. The river acted as a natural barrier and a strategic advantage, protecting the city from potential invaders while simultaneously offering a means of transport for its legionnaires. Bridges, such as the Pons Aemilius, spanned its waters, linking diverse neighborhoods and allowing for economic and social interaction among citizens. This connectivity fostered a sense of community, binding various factions of Roman life together. Civic life flourished along the Tiber, with public spaces emerging in close proximity to the water. Temples and marketplaces provided venues for worship and commerce, drawing citizens into a shared experience. The gentle flow of the river mirrored the ebb and flow of Roman society, reflecting its ambitions and aspirations. Over time, this vital artery witnessed the rise and fall of empires, silently bearing witness to the complexities of human endeavor, ambition, and eventual decline. Access to the Gemonian Steps facilitated both utilitarian and ceremonial purposes. These stone structures provided a direct route from the valley below to the heights of the Capitoline Hill, allowing citizens and officials alike to traverse the city with relative ease. This region served as a lifeline for the populace, enabling not only the movement of goods, but also the flow of ideas and social interaction. Public spaces adjacent to the steps were imbued with significance. They hosted gatherings, political discourse, and announcements, echoing with the voices of the people. The steps themselves became a stage upon which the narratives of daily life unfolded. Political leaders and orators would utilize this vantage point to address the citizens, their words carried by the breeze, reverberating throughout the ancient streets. The Gemonian Steps also bore a somber role in the societal fabric, serving as a site for the display of the deceased. The remains of those executed were exposed here, a grim reminder of the consequences of ambition and dissent. This juxtaposition of public space and mortality reflected the complexities of Roman societal norms, where celebration and grief coexisted in a delicate balance. Amidst the whispers of history, the steps stand resilient, a testament to the intricate interplay between access, public engagement, and the inexorable passage of time in the heart of Rome. Etymologically, the name Gemonian derives from the Latin term gemonia, translating to the stairs of lamentation. This designation underscores the somber role these steps played in ancient rituals. The roots of this nomenclature can be traced back to the practice of exposing the bodies of executed criminals, a grim tradition that took place here, allowing public acknowledgement of justice administered. The linguistic elements reveal layers of meaning, with gemo meaning to weep or to moan, explicitly connecting the location to sorrowful expressions. In this context, the name functions not merely as a label, but as a reminder of the weight of transgressions, providing a stark contrast to the vibrant life surrounding it. This duality encapsulates Roman life, where public spectacle often converged with profound suffering. The phonetic structure of the term evokes a somber resonance, mirroring the very emotions it embodies. Each syllable whispers tales of the past, imbuing the physical space with an enduring echo of its historical significance. Over centuries, the name has persisted, a linguistic relic that continues to anchor the steps within the broader narrative of Rome's complex relationship with morality and power. In this way, the Gemonian Steps maintain their relevance, serving as a conduit between ancient practices and modern reflections on justice and humanity. The Gemonian Steps are steeped in the complexities of Roman political culture, reflecting the intricate relationship between justice and punishment. This region served not only as a physical location for the execution of those deemed traitors, but also as a symbol of the state's authority. The steps leading down towards the Tiber River, witnessed the final moments of many who fell from the favor of the Senate, their fates orchestrated by the will of the powerful. Amidst this context, public executions acted as a stark reminder of the consequences of dissent. The steps became a stage where the bodies of the condemned were displayed, sending a clear message to the citizenry. The very stone, worn by the passage of time, absorbed the weight of despair, echoing the cries of those who faced their end beneath the gaze of a watching populace. Such rituals served to reinforce social order, instilling fear in the hearts of potential rebels. This process of public punishment fostered a collective consciousness regarding loyalty and betrayal. The quiet flow of the Tiber below stands in stark contrast to the brutality of the actions that unfolded above. As the waters continue their eternal journey, they carry with them the remnants of ambition, power, and the relentless pursuit of control that defined the era. The Gemonian Steps reside as a poignant testament to the dual nature of justice in ancient Rome. Ambition in ancient Rome embodies a complex interplay of ideals and harsh realities. The desire for power and recognition spurred many to great heights, yet it often led to tragic downfalls. This region witnessed figures whose aspirations drove them to unparalleled success, only to be ensnared by the same ambitions that once fueled their rise. The elite, in their relentless pursuit of glory, navigated a labyrinth of political maneuvering, where loyalty could swiftly turn to betrayal. These ruins echo the stories of prominent leaders whose legacies were shaped by both triumph and tragedy. Senators and generals alike envisioned a Rome steeped in grandeur, yet the shadows of their aspirations often revealed a more sinister undertow. The spectrum of ambition extended from the noble pursuit of public service to the darker realms of self-interest and corruption. Within this context, the consequences of ambition manifested not only in the political sphere but also in social dynamics. The populace, witnessing the rise and fall of their leaders, developed a nuanced understanding of power. Their aspirations became entwined with the recognition that even the most lofty goals could lead to personal ruin. The duality of ambition stands starkly against the backdrop of the Tiber, a silent observer of these fleeting human endeavors. The Gemonian Steps served as a grim stage for the final moments of those deemed enemies of the state. Situated within the heart of ancient Rome, this site witnessed a multitude of executions, a sobering testament to the harsh realities of power dynamics within the empire. The stone steps, worn by countless feet, offered a chilling reminder of the lives extinguished in pursuit of political stability. It functioned as an avenue for both spectacle and justice, where the condemned would meet their fate amidst an assembly of onlookers. The public nature of these executions reinforced societal norms, serving to deter dissent and maintain order. The cold, unyielding stones absorbed the whispers of despair, while the Tiber continued its unhurried flow, embodying the passage of time unaffected by human suffering. In this region, the echoes of the past linger, encapsulating the tension between ambition and consequence. The very air carries remnants of fear and defiance, a silent witness to the aspirations that led individuals to their doom. Each execution marked a turning point, a reminder of the fragility of power and the lengths to which it would go to preserve itself. This intersection of ambition and mortality speaks to a complex narrative woven into the fabric of Rome, where dreams could easily transform into nightmares. The Gemonian Steps serve as a poignant reminder of the city's duality, standing in stark contrast to the vibrant life of the Roman Forum. While the Forum buzzed with political discourse, commerce, and cultural exchange, the steps echoed the somber tales of those who met their fate through the machinations of power. This proximity signifies a profound connection between the celebration of civic life and the darker shadows that lurked just beyond the bustling heart of Rome. Ascending the steps, one can envision the procession of condemned souls making their final journey, their fate sealed by the very ambitions that fueled the Forum's vitality. The juxtaposition of their path against the backdrop of monumental architecture and lively gatherings encapsulates a society deeply attuned to both glory and despair. The Forum's columns and statues, symbols of triumph, stand sentinel over these solemn steps, silently witnessing the sins and sacrifices of those who sought favor in a treacherous landscape. And the quietude of this region, the whispers of history linger, suggesting that every ascent holds the weight of past choices and unfulfilled aspirations. What unfolded here, amidst the grandeur of Rome, offers a lesson in human ambition, a reminder that even the mightiest can find themselves in the depths of despair. The steps and the Forum, thus, are intertwined, forming a narrative that is both captivating and cautionary. The Senate's influence at the Gemonian Steps reflects the complexities of justice in ancient Rome. This region served as a prominent site for the administration of legal proceedings, where the weight of law met the weight of ambition. Senators, robed in authority, convened to deliberate matters of state, their decisions echoing through the marble and stone. The presence of these individuals lent gravity to the proceedings, reinforcing the importance of civic order. This location became a backdrop for both public trials and the execution of those deemed threats to the Republic. In a society where power dynamics shifted rapidly, the Senate wielded both judicial and political authority, shaping the fates of individuals with the stroke of a pen. Trials often took on a theatrical quality, attended by the populace, autarchs, who were keen to observe the fate of the accused here. The crowd's murmurs, a mix of support and disdain, formed an undercurrent to the solemnity of the events. Here, the Tiber flowed quietly, a witness to the decisions made on its banks. Those who ascended the steps faced judgment not only from the Senate, but also from a society that craved accountability and justice. In this interplay of power and public sentiment, the Gemonian Steps stood as a stark reminder of the delicate balance between ambition and consequence. The influence of Stoicism permeated Roman perceptions of ambition and failure, shaping the societal response to both triumph and despair. This philosophical school emphasized virtue, self-control, and the acceptance of fate, allowing individuals to confront the complexities of their aspirations with a measured perspective. In the context of the Gemonian Steps, the echoes of Stoic thought resonated through the very stones where the once ambitious met their fates. It was here that the juxtaposition of personal aspiration against the immutable tides of destiny played out, illustrating the transient nature of power. Stoicism taught that external circumstances, including failure, were not to be feared but understood as essential components of the human experience. The ideals of resilience and rationality fostered a culture in which the fallen were contemplated not with pity, but with an understanding of their choices and the inherent unpredictability of life. This acceptance allowed the public to navigate their own ambitions, recognizing that failure was a shared human condition, often leading to introspection and growth. In the shadows of the Gemonian Steps, the remnants of this philosophical influence lingered. The quiet Tiber flowed nearby, a witness to the complex interplay between individual desires and the broader societal fabric. Each ripple carried tales of ambition, failure, and the stoic acceptance of life's unpredictable nature. The Gemonian Steps have made profound appearances in Roman literature, serving as a poignant backdrop for themes of loss and morality. These steps, where the unclaimed bodies were discarded, resonate through the verses of poets and prose writers alike. Notable works evoke the somber atmosphere, highlighting the contrast between ambition and the inevitable decline that awaits even the most illustrious figures. In the writings of the poet Juvenal, the steps emerge as a symbol of societal decay, reflecting the moral failings of those who once held power. The imagery emphasizes the grim reality faced by the fallen, who now rest in anonymity, their aspirations extinguished. This region, steeped in historical significance, becomes a powerful metaphor for the transient nature of glory. Virgil, too, weaves the Gemonian Steps into his narratives, employing them to illustrate the consequences of hubris. Such references serve to remind readers of the fine line between success and failure, a line that often leads to these very steps. The somber acceptance of fate permeates the works of Cicero, who speaks of justice and retribution in the context of this location, where the echoes of past lives resonate against the Tiber's currents. Through these literary references, the steps persist as a silent witness to the complexities of human ambition, urging contemplation of legacy and consequence. Cultural memory weaves through the Gemonian Steps, where folklore has shaped public perception over centuries. Tales of those condemned to this site have imbued it with a haunting presence. The narratives of infamous figures, their fate sealed by the whims of power, linger in the air, blending with the gentle flow of the Tiber. Each story contributes to a collective understanding of justice and morality, often conveyed through oral traditions that resonate with the people. In the shadows of these steps, the whisper of the past informs the present. Legends of betrayal and bravery emerge, illustrating the complexities of human relationships and societal structures. This region becomes a canvas where morality plays out, echoing the struggles of individuals caught in the gears of history. The steps, adorned with the weight of these stories, Atarchs and Bisarks, serve as a reminder of the fragility of reputation and the permanence of consequence. Folklore imbues the Gemonian Steps with a deeper significance, transforming them from mere stone to a symbol of caution and reflection. Public perception evolves as each generation grapples with the meanings embedded within these tales. The quiet Tiber flows beside them, a steadfast observer of the narratives that shape the collective conscience, stitching together the past and present in an intricate, unbroken thread of memory. The Gemonian Steps bear witness to a darker chapter in history, where the ambitions of powerful figures met with the cold finality of execution. This location served as a stark backdrop for the fall of many prominent individuals, each case a testament to the volatile nature of Roman politics. The steps themselves, constructed of aged stone, echo the countless footsteps that led to their grim fate, embodying the tension of ambition and betrayal. Among those executed was the renowned general and politician, Lucius Cornelius Sulla. His ascent to power was marked by ruthless conflicts. Yet it was here that his enemies found a chilling resolution. The site became synonymous with political purges, where the bodies of rivals were discarded, marking the end of their aspirations. Further down the annals of time, the tale of Julius Caesar resonates, though his demise unfolded in the Senate. The Gemonian Steps served as a silent witness to the aftermath, where conspirators may have envisioned the weight of their choices. The echoes of silent deliberations linger, the air thick with the unfulfilled ambitions of those who once held sway. The somber atmosphere of this region invites reflection on the fragility of power. It is a reminder that ambition, when unchecked, may lead to a swift descent into obscurity, leaving behind only whispers of what could have been. The intricate relationship between power and fear shaped the very foundation of ancient Rome. Rulers wielded authority not solely through benevolence, but also through intimidation, creating an atmosphere thick with trepidation. This environment bred loyalty rooted in apprehension, as those in positions of influence understood that maintaining control required both admiration and the looming threat of consequence. In this realm, the mere presence of power transformed the landscape. Political rivals, once allies, became wary of each other, each move calculated to safeguard their status. The specter of betrayal lingered heavily in the air, filling the corridors of the Senate and the grand amphitheaters. The Tiber, flowing steadily nearby, served as a silent witness to the machinations of ambition and the quiet anxiety it instilled within the populace. Citizens, caught in this web, oscillated between reverence for their leaders and the fear of their capriciousness. Public spectacles, often staged to entertain Obel, also reinforced the delicate balance of fear and loyalty. These gatherings became arenas where power was displayed and dissent was swiftly quelled. Such dynamics left an indelible mark on the psyche of the Roman Empire. The fear of losing power became as potent as the desire to attain it, resulting in an enduring cycle that shaped societal norms and expectations. Echoing through the annals of history, the Gemonian Steps served as a stark reminder of the consequences of political ambition within Roman society. This imposing staircase, leading down to the Tiber River, became a site of public spectacle and retribution. Executions and the display of the deceased transformed it into a symbol of the fragile nature of power. Those who ascended the heights of political influence were keenly aware that their fall could be equally public and humiliating. The presence of these steps reinforced a rigid social hierarchy, where status was both revered and feared. Citizens gathered to witness the fates of the powerful, reinforcing a collective understanding of the precariousness of authority. With each act of violence, the message resonated. Ambition could lead to glory or demise, and the line between the two was often blurred. Among the spectators, whispers of envy and admiration melded, creating a culture steeped in both aspiration and caution. This duality shaped interactions among the elite, who navigated their relationships with an acute awareness of the consequences of betrayal or alliance. The steps became a metaphorical threshold, separating those who wielded power from those who merely aspired to it, leaving an indelible mark on the social fabric of Rome. In this region, the interplay of ambition and fear etched a profound legacy in the hearts of its people. The Gemonian Steps served as a significant threshold, intimately tied to the spiritual fabric of Roman society. This location, often associated with the ritualistic practices, became a somber site for the execution of those deemed traitors. The steps led down to the Tiber, where the waters would carry away the remnants of these condemned souls, fulfilling both a practical and symbolic role in the beliefs of the time. Sacrifices were conducted in the shadow of this stone structure, invoking the favor of deities who governed fate and justice. Rituals often included offerings intended to appease the divine, ensuring that the spirits of the executed would not haunt the living. This connection between the material and the ethereal underscored the Romans' understanding of the complexities of honor and disgrace. The Gemonian Steps became a liminal space, bridging the earthly realm and the afterlife. It was a place where the consequences of ambition converged with the inevitability of mortality. The fading echoes of prayers and lamentations lingered in the air, a testament to the belief that the divine was ever watchful. In the quiet flow of the Tiber nearby, the water mirrored the passage of time, a reminder that all actions, whether noble or ignoble, would eventually be washed away, leaving only whispers of their existence. The Gemonian Steps rise majestically, their weathered stones revealing the artistry of an era long past. Designed with a purpose, this monumental staircase served as a pathway from the Forum to the Tiber, facilitating both the movement of the living and the final journeys of the deceased. Each step, carved with precision, tells a story of ambition and power, serving as a testament to the architectural prowess of ancient engineers. Intricate details adorn the edges, where patterns and motifs intertwine, reflecting the prevailing aesthetic sensibilities of the time. This region showcases a blend of utilitarian function and artistic expression, where each element was thoughtfully integrated into the larger narrative of Roman society. The gentle rise of the steps draws the eye upward, creating a natural focal point that commands respect and contemplation. Surrounding these ruins, remnants of the past emerge, hinting at the grandeur that once defined this space. Fragments of marble and stone lie scattered, speaking to both the magnificence and fragility of human endeavor. Even in their decay, they evoke a sense of reverence, a reminder of the transient nature of glory. The atmosphere is one of quiet reflection, an invitation to ponder the legacies left behind, forever intertwined with the slow, enduring flow of the time. The evolution of the Gemonian Steps reveals a gradual transformation reflective of the political and social dynamics during the Republic and Empire. Originally, this site served as a modest access point, facilitating the movement of citizens and officials. Over time, it gained significance as a location where the remains of the condemned were displayed, thus intertwining its purpose with the darker elements of governance. During the late Republic, as political strife intensified, the steps became a poignant symbol of power and retribution. The practice of exposing the deceased to public view resonated with the populace, reinforcing the relationship between authority and spectacle. With the establishment of the empire, the steps were further monumentalized, transforming into an imposing structure adorned with marble and statuary, signifying the might of imperial rule. Architectural modifications enhanced its prominence, making it not only a functional thoroughfare but also a statement about the empire's grandeur. As the centuries wore on, the Gemonian Steps witnessed the ebb and flow of time, adapting to the changing needs of the city. Each layer of stone, each inscription, holds stories of ambition and despair, reflecting the complex interplay between the state and its citizens. In this way, the steps stand as a testament to the enduring nature of history, quietly chronicling the passage of time beneath the watchful gaze of the Tiber. The Gemonian Steps embody a poignant reminder of fallen ambition, intricately woven into the narratives of ancient Rome. Each stone bears witness to the aspirations of leaders and citizens alike, whose dreams often crumbled against the harsh realities of power struggles. This region served as a threshold between exaltation and destruction, where once prominent figures met their demise, their ambitions reduced to echoes within the stone. The steps are flanked by the somber architecture of the surrounding structures, resonate with the weight of history. It is here that the lives of those who aspired for greatness converge into a singular narrative of loss and consequence. The shadows of the past linger, as the stones absorb the stories of betrayal and downfall, each incident adding layers to their significance. Within this quiet corridor, the Tiber flows steadily, a constant that contrasts with the impermanence of human ambition. The river's presence serves as a reminder of time's relentless march, indifferent to the aspirations that once ignited the hearts of many. In the currents that swirl beside the steps, the remnants of dreams lost to ambition may still be felt, urging a contemplation of the enduring nature of ambition and its potential to lead to both elevation and ruin. The Gemonian Steps remain a silent witness to this complex interplay. Urban planning in ancient Rome reveals a meticulous approach to the organization of space, with the Gemonian Steps serving as a critical junction within the broader architectural scheme. Their strategic placement links significant public areas, embodying the intersection of both functionality and monumental expression. This region connects the Forum with the Palatine Hill, allowing for the seamless flow of citizens and goods alike. The steps, designed for both utility and spectacle, facilitated gatherings and public announcements, underscoring the importance of social interaction in the bustling life of the city. These structures were not mere pathways. They were integral to the ceremonial landscape, shaping the experience of those who traversed them. Each stone, meticulously laid, reflects the values of order and accessibility that characterized Roman urban design. Surrounding areas were imbued with civic significance, as temples and public buildings rose in coordination with the steps, enhancing the visual and functional connectivity. Monuments, adorned with inscriptions, served as reminders of Rome's collective memory, reinforcing the role of these thoroughfares as conduits of history and culture. Through such careful planning, the Gemonian Steps illustrate how architectural elements contributed to the social fabric of ancient Rome, resonating with the ambitions of its citizens while remaining steadfast in the quietude of time. During the reign of Augustus, significant transformations unfolded within the Roman landscape, with the Gemonian Steps serving as a focal point of public life and political narrative. This region, prominently located near the Forum, became a symbol of power and prestige. The steps provided access to the Tarpeian Rock, a site historically associated with punishment, illustrating the duality of life in Rome, where grandeur often intersected with grim realities. Under Augustus, the steps were enhanced to accommodate the growing masses drawn to political gatherings, celebrations, and spectacles. The architecture, marked by its imposing presence, functioned not only as a passage, but also as a stage for the ambitions of the imperial regime. They echoed the ideals of the Pax Romana, embodying a sense of stability in turbulent times. This period saw the embellishment of surrounding structures, creating a cohesive environment that reinforced Augustus's vision of Rome. The Gemonian Steps, therefore, became a canvas upon which the narrative of the empire was painted. It stood witness to the rise of new ideologies, shifting societal norms, and the complexities of governance. As the populace moved through this space, they engaged with the essence of Roman identity, a blend of aspiration and melancholy, where the echoes of history lingered amidst the enduring stones. The preservation of the Gemonian Steps reveals a narrative intertwined with archaeological findings and the challenges of maintaining such a significant site. These stairs, once a route for the condemned, resonate with layers of history. Recent excavations have unveiled fragments of pottery and inscriptions, artifacts that illuminate the social dynamics of ancient Rome. Each discovery contributes to a deeper understanding of the rituals and practices that permeated life in this region. Environmental factors pose significant challenges to preservation efforts. The interplay between humidity and the ancient stonework leads to erosion, slowly wearing away the remnants of glory. The Tiber, while a vital waterway, also presents risks as its flow fluctuates, occasionally flooding the area, complicating efforts to maintain structural integrity. Conservationists employ advanced techniques, including digital imaging and chemical treatments, to slow degradation and protect these invaluable remnants. Visitor engagement is encouraged within the boundaries of preservation. Educational programs highlight the significance of the steps and their role within the broader context of Roman civilization. Guided tours blend the past with the present, allowing individuals to contemplate the gravity of the site while fostering a sense of stewardship for future generations. Not merely a relic, the Gemonian Steps stand as a testament to the resilience of history, quietly inviting reflection on the ambitions and trials of those who once traversed this path. The Gemonian Steps served not only as a physical passage, but also as a critical site for legal proceedings in ancient Rome. This location witnessed the culmination of judicial decisions, where the weight of law met the gravity of public opinion. The steps became a point of transition, marking the journey from the judicial system to the ultimate consequences faced by the condemned. Within this region, the trials held within the forum reverberated through the city, influencing the lives of many. Legal verdicts were often pronounced with the understanding that they would culminate here, where the finality of punishment awaited. It was not uncommon for the populace to gather, their breaths mingling with the cool air as they awaited the fate of those deemed guilty. The presence of this staircase imbued the atmosphere with a sense of urgency, echoing the relentless march of justice. Steps lined with the shadows of history bore witness to the complexities of Roman law, where the balance between mercy and retribution often swayed precariously. The quiet splashes of the Tiber below served as a reminder of the passage of time and the continued evolution of societal norms. In this setting, the Gemonian Steps transcended mere architecture, embodying the intricate interplay of law, morality, and the human condition within the grand narrative of Rome. Fear and shame permeated the Gemonian Steps, manifesting in the hushed whispers of the crowds that gathered to witness the grim spectacle. The weight of judgment hung in the air, thick and palpable, as the accused were paraded before a watchful populace. It was within this stark locale that the interplay of public and private anguish unfolded, each step echoing the finality of state-sanctioned retribution. The descent into the Tiber's embrace signified not only a physical fall, but also a moral one, as the condemned surrendered their dignity to the collective gaze of their fellow citizens. This region became a stage for the profound emotional currents that coursed through society. Onlookers experienced a blend of morbid curiosity and apprehension, feelings that fueled the very essence of this public execution site. Evident in their expressions was a reflection of their own vulnerabilities, for each individual stood on the precipice of fate, teetering between civic duty and the threat of similar condemnation. The Gemonian Steps thus served as a reminder of the fragility of status, where ambition could falter and disgrace could materialize in an instant. The ebb and flow of emotions resonated through the architecture, binding the living to the outcomes of the fallen, perpetuating an unbroken cycle of fear and shame. Political machinations shaped the Gemonian Steps, a site that bore witness to the ambitions of those who sought power and the consequences of their failures. Here, embossed, the bodies of the condemned were cast down, their final moments marked by the cold stone beneath. This region served as a stark reminder of the fragility of political fortunes, with a rise and fall of leaders unfolded in a relentless cycle. The steps themselves, steeped in the weight of history, reflected the turbulent atmosphere of ancient Rome. Executions were not merely acts of punishment, but public spectacles designed to reinforce the authority of the state and instill a sense of order amid chaos. In this space, the cries of the crowd mingled with the whispers of the past, echoing the ideals and fears of a society grappling with its own identity. The Gemonian Steps became a focal point for the interplay between power and mortality, embodying the consequences of political rivalry. Figures who once commanded legions and swayed the Senate met their brutal ends here, their ambitions dissipating like smoke in the shadows. The Tiber flowed steadily, indifferent to the human drama unfolding above. This river, a constant in the ever-changing landscape of power, served as a silent witness to the ambitions that once ignited a city. The Gemonian Steps, a notorious site for public executions, reflect the stark realities of social status and power dynamics within ancient Rome. It was here that individuals, often condemned due to their lower standing in society, met their fate in a display of authority. The proximity to the Tiber enhanced the grim nature of these events, as the river's flow symbolized both continuity and the often disregarded lives that ended abruptly. Slavery played a pivotal role in these executions. Many of those sentenced to death were slaves or freedmen, their value measured solely by their utility to the state or their master. Such individuals were stripped of their dignity, their lives reduced to mere spectacles for the public gaze. The Gemonian Steps became a stage for the demonstration of power, reinforcing the societal hierarchy where the elite dictated the fate of the disenfranchised. Social status determined not only the likelihood of execution but also the manner of death. Noble citizens, in certain cases, were afforded honorable ends, while the lower classes faced brutality. This disparity highlighted the inherent inequalities within Roman society, where the lives of the powerful were shielded from the grim realities inflicted upon the marginalized. The Gemonian Steps thus stand as a chilling reminder of ambition's darker aspects, echoing through time alongside the enduring flow of the Tiber. During times of civil unrest, the Gemonian Steps served a multifaceted role within the fabric of Roman society. It was at this location that the bodies of executed criminals were discarded, a stark symbol of the consequences faced by those who dared to challenge authority. This region witnessed an unsettling yet systematic approach to justice, where the public's perception of power and rebellion intertwined with the grim realities of punishment. The Steps became a focal point for the discontented, a place where voices rose against tyranny. Citizens gathered to express their grievances in the shadow of the imposing structure, their sentiments echoing off the stones that had witnessed countless executions. It transformed into a stage for dissent, the surrounding atmosphere charged with a palpable tension as the cries for reform reverberated through the narrow streets of Rome. In addition to its role in executing justice and housing protest, the Gemonian Steps also functioned as a reminder of mortality. With the Tiber flowing silently below, it provided a visceral connection between the living and the dead, amplifying the sense of urgency in the fight against oppression. The steppes, steeped in history, remained a silent observer of the struggles between the governing elite and the populace, capturing the essence of a society in turmoil. The Gemonian Steps served as a haunting reminder of public memory in Rome, where the collective consciousness often intertwined with the remnants of power and rebellion. This region, marked by its imposing stone structure, facilitated the presentation of the deceased, emphasizing not only mortality, but also the societal hierarchy that dictated such displays. Each step bore witness to the lives that once filled the streets, echoing the voices of those who clamored for justice amid the complexities of governance. The ascent to the Capitoline Hill was more than a mere physical journey. It represented the transition between life and death, the mundane and the monumental. It became a focal point for the citizens, a space where the past lingered, urging reflection on the cycles of ambition and despair. Each stone, weathered by time, held stories of those who sought to alter their fates, their ambitions. In this setting, rituals and public displays fostered a shared memory, allowing the populace to engage with the remnants of their cultural identity. It transformed the steppes into a crucible of remembrance, encapsulating the duality of reverence and reproach. Within this quiet place, the essence of ancient Rome persisted, a subtle reminder that the echoes of ambition resonate long after the actors have departed. Artistic representations of the Gemonian Steps reveal a layered understanding of their significance within Roman culture. These depictions, often found in frescoes and sculptures, capture the somber gravity of the site. The steps, lined with figures that embody both the grandeur and the tragedy of fallen leaders, serve as a poignant backdrop for the narratives of ambition and downfall. In these works, the interplay of light and shadow accentuates the physical contours of the steppes, framing the figures in a manner that evokes a sense of reverence. This region, marked by its historical weight, becomes a canvas for exploring themes of power, mortality, and the fleeting nature of legacy. Artists employed a rich palette to convey the emotional resonance of the site, contrasting vibrant hues against the muted tones of stone and earth. The portrayal of the Tiber River in these artworks often serves as a symbol of continuity, flowing quietly alongside the steppes, bearing witness to the passage of time. Each brushstroke or chisel mark reflects a deep respect for the stories engendered here, where ambition met its inevitable conclusion. The Gemonian Steps, rendered in myriad forms, encapsulate a narrative that transcends the ages, inviting reflection on the human experience and the relentless pursuit of greatness. This region stands as a poignant reflection of Roman values and ideals, embodying the principles of honor, sacrifice, and the intricate relationship between power and morality. The Gemonian Steps, often referred to as the path of the fallen, served as a stark reminder of the consequences faced by those who dared to challenge the status quo. Each stone imbued with the weight of history, it witnessed the passage of leaders, soldiers, and dissenters alike. The architecture, austere yet imposing, mirrors the societal expectations of virtue and strength. The grandeur of the surrounding structures accentuates the importance of public life, where the actions of individuals ripple through the collective consciousness of the Republic. Here, the ideals of glory and shame intertwine, illustrating the fragile balance between triumph and downfall. As the Tiber flows quietly beside these ruins, it encapsulates the transient nature of power. The river, a silent witness to the ebb and flow of empires, serves as a metaphor for the inevitable decline that accompanies ambition. The solemnity of the steppes invites contemplation of the human condition, the pursuit of honor, and the fleeting legacy left behind. Each visitor, whether in ancient times or the present, cannot help but feel the weight of ambition that once coursed through this significant pathway. The Tiber River, flowing alongside the Gemonian Steps, served as both a literal and symbolic conduit for those facing execution. Its waters, deep and unyielding, have witnessed the final moments of countless individuals condemned by the state. This river, with its steady current, became a silent observer of despair, a place where the ambitions of the powerful collided with the fates of the unfortunate. The proximity of these steps to the water's edge heightened the gravity of this location. It offered a stark reminder of mortality and consequence, underscoring the fragile nature of human aspiration. As the condemned were led down the steps, their journey came to an end at the riverbank, where the waters absorbed both their physical remains and the echoes of their unfulfilled dreams. Ruth Tahar symbolically, the Tiber represented both life and death. It nurtured the city, providing sustenance and trade, while simultaneously serving as a boundary between existence and oblivion. The juxtaposition of its flowing waters against the finality of executions encapsulated the duality of Roman life. Those who gazed upon the Tiber from the steps could not escape the realization of their own vulnerability, the river reflecting the transient nature of power. This region, steeped in history, continues to resonate with the remnants of ambition, loss, and the inexorable passage of time. The Gemonian Steps stand as a silent testament to the monumental shift from republic to empire. These steps, with their worn stones, served as a platform for public executions, a stark reminder of the lethal consequences of political rivalry. The somber echoes of voices long silenced intertwine with the whispers of those who once thrived in power. This site witnessed the fall of prominent figures, a Figesaisen of the Saw and the Seist and the Thyme, where ambition turned to dust, and the aspirations of many succumbed to the weight of betrayal. The transition from a republic defined by collective governance to an empire centered around autocracy marked a profound transformation in societal structure. The relentless ambition of leaders seeking dominion often led to violent confrontations, reshaping the political landscape. Each step, imbued with the essence of these events, reflects the palpable tension that characterized this era. The fading company of statues and columns surrounding the steps serves as a poignant reminder of ideals eroded by ambition and greed. As the Tiber flows steadily beneath, it carries with it fragments of this tumultuous history, connecting past with present in a quiet, unyielding march. The river's gentle currents are a contrast to the turbulent events that unfolded nearby, embodying the duality of resilience and fragility inherent in civilization's evolution. The Gemonian Steps remain an enduring symbol of this complex legacy. Public executions along the Gemonian Steps elicited profound psychological responses among Roman citizens. This region, where many met their fates, served not only as a grim spectacle, but also as a reflection of societal values. The stark reality of mortality confronted the populace regularly, instilling a sense of mortality within their collective consciousness. Observers were often drawn to the juxtaposition of the macabre and the mundane as the executions unfolded in the shadow of daily life. Witnessing the demise of those deemed enemies of the state invoked feelings ranging from fear to a misguided sense of vindication. It reinforced the societal hierarchy, illustrating the consequences of defiance against Rome's authority. The public nature of these events ensured that the message resonated deeply within the community. Each execution became a lesson, echoing the consequences of transgression. The psychological toll of such events was multifaceted. A populace steeped in the acceptance of violence as a means of maintaining order developed a complex relationship with power and authority. The chilling atmosphere surrounding the steps prompted introspection and contemplation on the fragility of life. As citizens processed these occurrences, they were left to navigate the tension between their moral compass and the expectations of a society that glorified strength and control, the impact lingered long after the final breath, shaping thoughts and behaviors across generations. The Gemonian Steps stand as a stark reminder of the past, their stone surfaces weathered by centuries of footfalls and whispers of history. This location served not only as a site of execution, but also as a symbol of the consequences of ambition and betrayal. The quiet flow of the Tiber nearby contrasts sharply with the echoes of despair that once filled this region. In later European thought, these steps became emblematic of the tension between power and morality, illustrating the fragility of human pursuits. Philosophers and writers drew upon the somber legacy of the steps, employing it as a lens through which to examine justice and the human condition. The disquieting gravity associated with this site inspired reflections on the nature of authority and the ethical implications of governance. The ruins continued to provoke discourse about the balance of power, serving as a poignant backdrop to the rise and fall of empires throughout history. In the Renaissance, thinkers revisited the narratives woven into the fabric of Roman society, using the Gemonian Steps as a catalyst for broader discussions about virtue and vice. These reflections filtered into the collective consciousness of Europe, shaping legal and philosophical frameworks. The legacy of the steps resonates in the ongoing exploration of accountability and the moral dimensions of leadership. Their presence, though silent, continues to influence societal values and ethical inquiries. Contemporary historians examine the Gemonian Steps as a poignant symbol of the complexities of power and morality in ancient Rome. This region, characterized by its stark steps leading to the Tiber, serves as a reminder of the harsh realities faced by those deemed undesirable by society. Scholars analyze the physical structure, noting its utilitarian design, which reflects the societal norms of the time. The architecture speaks to the values of punishment and public spectacle, contrasting sharply with the ideals of honor and virtue espoused by Roman citizens. Research often delves into the narratives of the individuals who met their end at these steps. These accounts provide insight into the political machinations and social dynamics that dictated who would be subjected to such a fate. The steps themselves have become an archaeological focal point, revealing artifacts that indicate the presence of crowds and the public nature of these executions. In the context of contemporary ethics, discussions surrounding the Gemonian Steps provoke critical reflection on justice and societal values. It raises questions about the legacy of punishment and its impact on collective memory. This examination underscores the tension between power and humanity, highlighting how the remnants of this historical site continue to resonate within modern discourse, prompting an ongoing evaluation of moral frameworks. The Gemonian Steps serve as a testament to the multifaceted role of monuments in Roman society. Positioned strategically, they functioned not merely as a passage, but as a stage for the public display of power and punishment. The ascending stone steps held significant political symbolism, embodying the might of the state while simultaneously reflecting societal values regarding justice and retribution. These structures were more than mere architectural feats. They were tools of communication. The procession of executed criminals ascending these steps signified a stark warning to the populace, reinforcing the consequences of dissent. Through this ritual, the state asserted control, reminding citizens of the fine line between order and chaos. The public spectacle of execution emphasized collective morality, instilling a sense of civic duty and compliance. In this region, the steps also acted as a gathering point, facilitating interactions among diverse social classes. Citizens, regardless of status, would congregate, sharing opinions and fostering dialogue about governance and ethics. Such gatherings blurred the lines between authority and the governed, further entrenching the steppes in the collective consciousness of the city. The Gemonian steppes, therefore, encapsulate a complex interplay of power dynamics and societal values, serving as both a physical and psychological anchor within the fabric of ancient Roman life. Their enduring presence invites reflection on the legacy of governance and the human condition. The Gemonian steppes stand as a solemn monument to the intertwining of ambition and consequence. This imposing staircase, leading down to the Tiber, served a dual purpose, both as a path of descent for the condemned and a stage for the rise of imperial ideology. The steppes, adorned with the remnants of ancient stone, echo the whispers of those who once traversed them, their fates intertwined with the whims of power. The imperial cult emerged as a potent force in this environment, weaving together the divine and the earthly. It was within these shadows that leaders transformed into deities, their names etched into the annals of history. The reverence accorded to them served to legitimize rule, blurring the lines between governance and worship. Each ascent and descent on the Gemonian steppes encapsulated a ritualistic dimension, where the act of execution became symbolic of the state's authority. As the Tiber flows quietly alongside, it bears witness to the ambitions that fueled Rome's expansion. The river, a silent observer, has seen emperors rise and fall, their legacies either sanctified or condemned. The weight of these historical currents continues to shape the perception of power, authority, and the human condition, lingering in the air like a distant memory of what was once vibrant and alive. The Gemonian steppes stand as a site of contradiction, where ambition meets accountability in stark relief against the backdrop of history. This location, once a venue for the ascent of Rome's most ambitious figures, also served as a grim reminder of the consequences of power. It is here that the aspirations of leaders transformed into echoes of accountability as the remnants of public executions lingered in the cobblestones, a haunting testament to the fragility of ambition. Surrounded by crumbling architecture, the steppes provide a juxtaposition of grandeur and decay. They reflect the rise of influential individuals whose dreams often collided with the harsh realities of Roman political life. The fading inscriptions in the stone recount tales of glory, while the very atmosphere hints at the shadows of those who fell from grace. The Tiber flows quietly nearby, its waters a constant witness to the ebb and flow of power. This river, which has seen both triumph and tragedy, serves as a metaphorical boundary, separating the noble aspirations of the elite from the inevitable reckoning that follows unchecked ambition. The presence of these ruins and the gentle murmur of the water invite contemplation on the nature of success and the accountability that accompanies it, reinforcing the delicate balance that defines the human experience. The Gemonian steppes served as a poignant backdrop for political satire and critique in ancient Rome. This location, steeped in the weight of historical consequence, offered a stark arena for the expression of dissent. As bodies were discarded here, the steppes transformed into a canvas for the living to project their discontent. Political adversaries utilized this space to illustrate the fragility of power, weaving narratives that highlighted the often precarious nature of leadership. The symbolism of the steppes resonated deeply within the public consciousness. It became a focal point where the ambitions of the elite were juxtaposed against the realities faced by the populace. Satirists and poets alike harnessed the imagery of this site to craft poignant commentaries, exposing the hypocrisy and moral failings of those in positions of authority. It served as a reminder that the ambitions of leaders could lead to tragic outcomes, both for themselves and the society they governed. In this region, dissent found a voice, echoing off the ancient stones. The Gemonian Steps were not merely a place of finality, but a venue for reflection and social critique, capturing the essence of a civilization grappling with its ideals and failures. The quiet flow of the Tiber continued to witness these narratives, intertwining the personal and the political in a timeless dialogue. Public opinion held immense weight in the decisions surrounding the executions at the Gemonian Steps. This location, marked by its stark simplicity, became a stage for the interplay between authority and the populace. The murmurs of the crowd, often swayed by political maneuvering, could determine the fate of individuals accused of treason or dissent. Fear and loyalty intersected in these moments, shaping the narratives that would echo through time. Executions were not merely acts of punishment. They were spectacles designed to reinforce the power of the state. The presence of spectators transformed these events into a public forum where the ramifications of dissent were made abundantly clear. As victims met their end, the reactions of onlookers conveyed a complex tapestry of emotions, ranging from horror to approval. These varied responses highlighted the intricate relationship between the rulers and the ruled, emphasizing the fragile balance of power. In this region, the Tiber served as a silent witness to these episodes of human behavior. Their significance extended beyond the immediate consequences, resonating throughout the annals of history. Each execution contributed to a broader understanding of governance and control, illustrating how public sentiment could either bolster or undermine the foundations of authority. The Gemonian Steps stand as a stark reminder of the interplay between justice, power, and the ever-watchful eye of society. The Gemonian Steps reveal a history marked not only by political machinations but also by gender dynamics in ancient Rome. Female executions, though less frequent than their male counterparts, are etched into the annals of this site. Women condemned for crimes ranging from infidelity to political dissent found themselves confronting the cold stone of these steps, a final stage in their fateful narratives. Certain figures, such as the poetess Sappho, faced execution due to their perceived defiance against societal norms. These instances reflect the stringent expectations placed upon women, where their transgressions were often viewed through a harsher lens. The executions not only served as a deterrent, but also reinforced traditional gender roles, exemplifying how women's lives were interwoven with state power and honor. Witnesses to these events, the onlooking crowd became an integral part of the proceedings, their murmurs reflecting societal attitudes towards female transgressors. The steps, thus, became a site of collective judgment, where the fate of women was scrutinized and debated. In this region, the quiet flow of the Tiber serves as a stark contrast to the tumult of human emotion, whispering the forgotten tales of those who walked the Gemonian Steps. Each stone bears witness to a complex legacy where ambition, gender, and societal norms collided in an unforgiving historical narrative. The Gemonian Steps served as a stark reminder of mortality and the price of political ambition. This site, where the bodies of the executed were displayed, reflects the somber reality of ancient justice. The cold stone steps, rising in a solemn ascent, were often the final resting place for those who dared to challenge authority. Here, the whispers of the past linger, echoing the stories of countless lives extinguished in the pursuit of power. Surrounding the steps, remnants of Roman architecture stand stoic, their once grand facades softened by the passage of time. This region, infused with the weight of history, invites reflection on the societal structures that dictated life and death. The Tiber flows quietly nearby, its waters witnessing the sorrow that unfolded in this space. Those who frequented the area were not merely spectators, they participated in a ritualized mourning, acknowledging the fragility of existence under the shadow of political machinations. Memories of the fallen intertwine with the very fabric of the city, Each visitor carries a fragment of this poignant narrative, their footsteps echoing against the stones. The Gemonian Steps remain a site of remembrance, often Dewens, compelling observers to consider the relentless tide of history and the lives that shaped the very heart of Rome, forever imprinted on the landscape. Antwedi Bronum Wabars, Beneintius Mnexiv. In modern Rome, the Gemonian Steps have evolved into a focal point for heritage and tourism, drawing visitors who seek to connect with the city's storied past. These steps, steeped in historical significance, now serve as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between reverence and exploration. Tourists traverse the ancient stones, often pausing to reflect on the narratives entwined within this revered location. Surrounding the steps, vibrant cafes and shops create a dynamic atmosphere, yet the solemnity of the site remains palpable. It stands as a stark juxtaposition to the lively exchanges of modern life, where the whispers of history linger amidst the contemporary hustle. Informational plaques provide insights into the past, guiding visitors through the shadows of ancient events that once transpired here. The Gemonian Steps also play host to guided tours that illuminate the darker aspects of Rome's history, fostering an awareness of the moral complexities inherent in the rise and fall of empires. This engagement with history cultivates a deeper understanding of cultural heritage, allowing visitors to forge connections with the legacy of those who walked before them. As dusk settles, the site transforms, illuminated by soft lights, inviting contemplation and a quiet appreciation of the enduring spirit of Rome, bridging ancient and modern worlds in harmonious coexistence. The Gemonian Steps serve as a reflective counterpart to the Colosseum, both situated within the heart of ancient Rome, yet resonating with distinct narratives. The stairs, with their solemn ascensions, were once a pathway of desolations, leading to the execution of the condemned. In contrast, the Colosseum stood as an arena of grandeur, a celebration of life through spectacle and entertainment. Each structure embodies the complexities of Roman society, where death and celebration coexisted. Both sites are constructed from local travertine, emphasizing a shared architectural language, although their purposes diverge dramatically. The Colosseum as elliptical form invites crowds into its embrace, while the Gemonian Steps present a stark invitation to reflect on mortality and the human condition. The steps ascend toward the Tarpeian Rock, an execution site that adds a haunting dimension to the experience. Visiting these ruins reveals the layered histories of Rome, where triumph and tragedy intertwine. The proximity of these sites allows for a unique juxtaposition of emotions, creating a dialogue between the celebratory and the mournful. Each stone tells a story, echoing the voices of those who walked these paths. This connection between the Gemonian Steps and the Colosseum. The Gemonian Steps, in the context of Roman military culture, served as a significant symbol of power and control. Located near the Forum, these steps once functioned as a grim pathway, guiding the bodies of executed criminals down to the Tiber. This region reflected not only the harsh realities of justice, but also the might of Rome's forces that enforced its laws. The solemnity of the steps echoed the discipline instilled in soldiers, illustrating a society that valued both order and the consequences of dissent. Military culture permeated every aspect of Roman life, shaping the very social fabric. It was an era where valor and loyalty were paramount, and the consequences of failure were made starkly manifest in places like the Gemonian Steps. The proximity to the river served as a reminder of both the life-giving and destructive elements of nature. It was here that the remnants of ambition were washed away, lost to the currents that shaped the empire's fortunes. Eulogies for fallen soldiers were often heard nearby, mixing reverence with the realities of mortality. This perpetual cycle of honor and punishment underscored the weight of allegiance in Roman society. The steps became not merely a physical location, but a poignant reminder of the costs associated with power, ambition, and loyalty within the expansive reach of Rome. Public oratory held significant sway in the trials associated with the Gemonian Steps, serving as a vital conduit for justice and opinion in ancient Rome. Orators, skilled in rhetoric, would step forward amidst the charged atmosphere, their voices resonating against the stone walls. Accusations of treachery and corruption became the focal point of impassioned speeches, where the weight of words shaped destinies. The very air around the steps thrummed with anticipation as the populace gathered, their fates intricately tied to the eloquence displayed. Accused individuals stood before their peers, often under the watchful gaze of political figures keen to influence public sentiment. The rhetoric employed in these trials was not merely about defending an individual. It was an intricate dance of persuasion aimed at swaying the masses. Appeals to loyalty, justice, and the very essence of Roman virtue echoed through the crowd, invoking both admiration and scorn. The outcome of these confrontations could pivot dramatically based on the orator's skill, revealing the delicate balance of power and public perception. In this region, the Gemonian Steps became a stage where the ambitions of orators clashed, illuminating the fragile nature of reputations. Over time, the echoes of these speeches lingered, forever entwined with the storied past of a civilization steeped in both grandeur and intrigue. The Gemonian Steps served as a stark reminder of the consequences of political ambition and social upheaval. This monumental staircase, leading down to the Tiber River, bore witness to the fate of many who fell victim to the ruthless tides of power. Historical texts recount the remains of the executed, their bodies left in plain sight, a method of deterrence for those who dared challenge the ruling elite. These steps became synonymous with the darker aspects of Roman governance, illustrating the lengths to which the state would go to maintain control. Amidst the grandeur of the city, the steps stood as a chilling counterpoint, reflecting the realities of ambition and betrayal. Ancient historians documented the events surrounding this site with meticulous detail, emphasizing the profound impact of public executions on Roman society. The Gemonian Steps emerged as a focal point in the narratives of political machinations, resonating through time as a symbol of the fragility of power. Artifacts and inscriptions unearthed in this region further illuminate the significance of the steps within the broader context of Roman life. These remnants of a once thriving civilization reveal the complexities of human nature and governance, offering insights into the motivations and fears that shaped its history. The quiet flow of the Tiber continues to witness the tales of ambition intertwined with loss. The Gemonian Steps rise from the banks of the Tiber, a solemn reminder of the fragility inherent in power. This location, once a symbol of triumph, now serves as a poignant metaphor for the fall of greatness. Each stone, worn and weathered, bears the imprint of those who ascended and descended, carrying with them the weight of their deeds. The echo of footsteps resonates within this region, a faint whisper of the lives once lived and the ambitions that led to their demise. Surrounding structures reflect the grandeur of a civilization that sought to etch its name into eternity. Yet, aboard, the shadows cast by these ruins hint at the inevitable decline that accompanies the heights of success. Decisions made in the name of glory often culminated in tragic fates. Those who traversed the steppes in pursuit of power frequently encountered the bitter end of their aspirations. The air here carries a weight of history, thick with the remnants of noble intentions turned sour. The Tiber flows steadily, indifferent to the ambitions that have risen and fallen upon its banks. This quiet river, a steadfast observer, witnesses the cycle of aspiration and disillusionment. The Gemonian Steps stand as a silent testament to the transient nature of human endeavor, where the echoes of ambition linger even as time continues its inexorable march. The influence of the Gemonian Steps on Renaissance and Baroque literature is profound, serving as a poignant symbol of moral reflection and the weight of history. Authors and poets of these periods often drew inspiration from the somber beauty of this location, weaving it into their narratives as a backdrop for themes of ambition, downfall, and redemption. The steppes, steeped in the memories of political intrigue and public executions, became a metaphor for the fragility of human aspirations. In the writings of the Renaissance, the Gemonian Steps appear as a stark reminder of the consequences of power and tyranny. The juxtaposition of grandeur and despair in this region captivates the imagination, prompting exploration of the darker aspects of the human condition. Poets found in these ruins a space to reflect upon the fleeting nature of glory, capturing the melancholy reverberations that linger in the air. Baroque literature further expanded this motif, embracing the contrasts of light and shadow, hope and despair. The imagery evoked by the Gemonian Steps often encapsulates the tension between ambition and its inevitable decline, resonating with the aesthetic philosophy of the time. The steppes serve not merely as a setting, but as a character in their own right, embodying the complexities of human experience as they continue their silent vigil along the Tiber. This region bears witness to the evolution of Roman punitive justice, a reflection of societal values and power dynamics. The Gemonian Steps were not simply a means of ascent, they served as a public stage for the display of authority and the consequences of transgressions. Here, the condemned would meet their fate, their final moments etched into the very stone of this ancient thoroughfare. Over time, these steps transformed from a mere site of execution to a symbol of the state's stringent control over morality. The bodies of those who fell victim to the whims of the powerful often lay on display, a stark reminder of the consequences of dissent. This practice instilled fear and reinforced societal norms, shaping the collective psyche of the populace. With the passage of centuries, the steps continued to adapt, reflecting the changing attitudes towards justice. The transition from public execution to more humane practices signified a gradual shift in moral philosophy. The site resonated with echoes of reform, mirroring broader societal changes throughout the empire. Each stone holds the weight of countless stories, carrying a legacy that extends beyond punishment. The Gemonian Steps illustrate the relentless march of history, revealing the complexities of human behavior and the sometimes harsh realities of governance. Silence envelops the area, inviting contemplation of what once transpired beneath the broad Roman sky. The Gemonian Steps rise starkly against the backdrop of time, their stone faces worn yet resolute. Each step bears witness to the somber rituals of exile, a punishment that cut deeply into the fabric of Roman society. This location served as both a physical and symbolic threshold, marking the transition from the bustling life of the city to the isolation that awaited those deemed unworthy. An air of desolation hangs within this region as the echoes of past lamentations linger. The steps, once a passage for the shamed, resonate with the weight of lost ambitions and broken destinies. Exile was not merely an expulsion. It was a public declaration of failure, a spectacle for the masses. Those who traversed these stones carried with them the burden of their transgressions, their fates sealed by the hand of the state. Surrounding the steps, the Tiber flows with an unhurried grace, a constant reminder of life's persistence despite the ebb and flow of human ambition. It nurtures the land while bearing witness to the transgressions that unfolded along its banks. In this serene yet somber space, the interplay of history and nature reflects the complexities of societal norms, revealing the fragile balance between honor and disgrace within the heart of ancient Rome. Foreign travelers to Rome often found themselves drawn to the Gemonian Steps, a site steeped in chilling significance. This location, marked by the weight of history, served as a grim reminder of the consequences of ambition gone awry. Visitors would gaze upon the weathered stones, contemplating the executions that once took place here as the Tiber flowed quietly nearby. The juxtaposition of brutality and beauty never ceased to astound them. Impressions of the steps varied among those who ventured close. Some perceived it as a mere backdrop to ancient tales, while others felt an unsettling aura, a palpable sense of the past's lingering presence. The echoes of whispers from centuries past seemed to inhabit the very air, compelling travelers to ponder the lives that had been irrevocably altered upon these steps. Accounts from these visitors reveal a fascination with the complex narratives intertwined within this region. They marveled at the striking architecture that lined the approach, its grandeur contrasting sharply with the somber history beneath their feet. Reflections on honor, punishment, and the fleeting nature of power often emerged in their writings, capturing the essence of what the Gemonian Steps represented. This convergence of reverence and trepidation epitomized the experience of encountering a place where history's shadows loom large, silently guiding the thoughts of all who dared to tread upon them. The Gemonian Steps, a steep ascent adjacent to the Tiber, served as a grim pathway for the condemned. This region, once echoing with the footsteps of the Praetorian Guard, held the weight of authority and fear. Tasked with the protection of emperors, these elite soldiers stood vigilant, marking their presence in the annals of power. The imposing stone stairway, flanked by towering structures, bore witness to the passage of prisoners, their fate sealed by the very guards who once safeguarded the empire. Surrounded by the whispers of history, it becomes evident that the steps were not merely an architectural feature, but a conduit for justice, often harsh and unyielding. The Praetorian Guard, with their polished armor and resolute stance, embodied the duality of loyalty and menace. Their role was not only to protect, but also to intimidate, maintaining order in a tumultuous political landscape. Engorged tension lingered in the air as the condemned made their final journey. The steps, worn by the passage of many feet, seemed to absorb the sorrow and despair of those who traversed them. Even in the stillness of the present, the echoes of past lives resonate, intertwining with the quiet flow of the Tiber below, a constant reminder of the impermanence of ambition and the weight of consequence. The Gemonian Steps served as a pivotal arena for political theater, where the ambitions and rivalries of Rome's elite unfolded against the backdrop of this ancient city. The stone steps, rising with a sense of grandeur, provided a dramatic stage for the public spectacle of power plays. Here, law and morality intertwined, often under the watchful gaze of a populace eager for spectacle. As voices echoed in the air, the political dynamics of the time became palpable. Powerful figures made their declarations, enacting the roles of statesmen and tyrants alike, their fates sealed by the whims of public opinion. The very architecture of the steps seemed to amplify their rhetoric, capturing moments of triumph and tragedy in the annals of history. This region, steeped in both reverence and trepidation, bore witness to the consequences of ambition. The descent of those who fell from grace often led down these iconic steps, a stark reminder of how fleeting power can be. Those who once commanded legions or influenced the Senate found themselves reduced to whispers on the wind. Artifacts of these encounters remained scattered throughout the vicinity, silent witnesses to the interplay of fate and ambition. The quiet waters of the Tiber continue to flow, carrying with them the remnants of a bygone era, as the Gemonian Steps stand resolute, embodying the relentless cycle of rise and fall. Civic identity in ancient Rome was profoundly shaped by the presence of the Gemonian Steps. These imposing structures served as a focal point, where the populace gathered to witness the rituals and ceremonies that defined their collective spirit. Positioned strategically, this site became a place for public discourse and civic pride, reinforcing the values of the Republic. It offered citizens the opportunity to engage with the political machinations of their time, a venue where the voices of the people could echo amidst the grand narratives of power. At the foot of these steps, the line between the individual and the collective blurred. It was here that triumphs and tragedies were publicly displayed, allowing the populace to connect emotionally with their leaders and fellow citizens. The steps transformed the mundane act of gathering into a powerful expression of unity. The solemnity of the space was palpable, marking the transition from the chaos of personal ambition to the shared aspirations of the Roman community. In moments of crisis or celebration, the Gemonian Steps bore witness to the unfolding drama of Roman life. They stood as a stark reminder of the responsibilities that came with citizenship. Each stone was imbued with the weight of history, a testament to the enduring influence of civic identity shaped by the interplay of ambition, power, and the collective journey of a civilization. The Gemonian Steps, a formidable ascent within the heart of ancient Rome, served both as a physical and symbolic threshold. These monumental stairs connected the bustling forum to the desolate expanse of the Tiber, offering a unique vantage point for the unfolding drama of governance and dissent. It was here that the echoes of political turmoil reverberated, marking the decline of the Roman Republic. Amidst the travails of leadership, these steps became a silent witness to the shifting tides of power. Discontent brewed within the populace, leading to public spectacles where the fate of the city's leaders was determined. Executions, a grim conclusion to political rivalry, often unfolded on this very site, leaving an indelible mark on the stones themselves. The contrast between the grandeur of the Republic's ideals and the stark reality of its descent was palpable within this space. Amo the Soch where Walaban fo Wandium, and the waning days of the Republic, it was not merely the physical structure that bore witness to these events, but the very atmosphere surrounding them. The whispers of disillusionment clung to the air, intertwining with the murmur of the Tiber below. This region, once a hub of ambition and civic pride, became a stark reminder of the fragility of power. The Gemonian Steps encapsulated the profound complexities of a civilization in decline, where aspirations met the inexorable pull of history. Urban memory often manifests in the architecture and public spaces that shape a city's identity over time. The Gemonian Steps, with their imposing structure, serve as a quiet reminder of the past, highlighting the dichotomy of grandeur and decay. This region, once a site of public spectacle and execution, now stands as a testament to the relentless passage of time and the weight of collective memory. Surrounding the steps, the remnants of ancient buildings whisper stories of political intrigue and societal change. The fading company of stone and marble speaks to the ambitions of those who once inhabited this vibrant metropolis. Each step, worn by countless feet, bears witness to the lives and deaths that unfolded within its shadow. It symbolizes the fragility of power, where the aspirations of leaders once echoed, now replaced by the soft murmur of the Tiber's waters. Artifacts and inscriptions scattered throughout the vicinity further enrich this urban landscape, each offering a glimpse into the daily lives and beliefs of the Romans. The interplay of light and shadow around the steps accentuates the melancholy beauty of this historical site, inviting contemplation of what has been lost and what remains. In this way, the Gemonian Steps embody an intricate narrative, linking the past to the present in a city forever shaped by its history. The Gemonian Steps served as a grim reminder of the ethics surrounding punishment in ancient Rome. These stone staircases, descending toward the Tiber, witnessed countless executions and the disposal of the condemned. In this context, the very architecture reflects a society grappling with the moral implications of justice and retribution. The choice of such a public venue for executions underscores the desire for spectacle, where the fates of individuals became communal events. Witnesses assembled to observe the downfall of those deemed unworthy. The steps, a silent observer to these moments, absorbed the weight of despair and finality. The fallen bodies, their dignity stripped away, were left to the Tiber, reinforcing the notion that punishment served not only as retribution, but as a deterrent to others. This methodical approach to justice reveals a complex societal structure where the balance between mercy and severity was constantly negotiated. The Gemonian Steps, with their cold stone surfaces, evoke the chilling reality of a civilization that prioritized order and control, even at the expense of human life. In the quiet reflection of this site, the echoes of ancient debates on ethics and morality linger, challenging contemporary perspectives on justice. The passage of time does little to diminish the profound implications of these historical practices. The Gemonian Steps stand as a stark reminder of the philosophical dichotomy that shaped ancient thought. In this region, the ideals of Platonism and cynicism often intersected, creating a fertile ground for intellectual discourse. It was here that the contrasting views on virtue and the human condition found expression, with one advocating for the pursuit of higher ideals and the other embracing a more austere, pragmatic approach to life. Platonism, with its emphasis on the realm of unchanging truths, found its followers contemplating the nature of justice and the pursuit of the good life. The echoes of their discussions lingered in the air, reflecting aspirations for a society grounded in reason and moral integrity. On the other hand, cynicism emerged as a counterpoint, prioritizing individual authenticity over societal norms. Practitioners of this philosophy often rejected material excess, advocating for a life of simplicity and virtue through a rigorous examination of one's desires. These ruins encapsulate the essence of a time when philosophical debate shaped public consciousness. The Gemonian Steps served not only as a physical space for executions and public humiliation, but also as a backdrop for the unfolding dialogues of life and death. In this context, the steps become a silent witness to the struggles of the human spirit, grappling with profound questions that resonate through the ages. The Gemonian Steps serve as a somber reminder of the power dynamics that shaped ancient Rome. These stone structures, once lined with the bodies of executed criminals, bear the weight of a legacy steeped in fear and control. Their cold surfaces have absorbed the anguish of countless souls, each step echoing the finality of retribution in a society governed by stringent laws. In this region, the very air is thick with remnants of despair, a stark contrast to the vibrant life that once thrived nearby. The Tiber flows silently, its waters a witness to the ebb and flow of power, while the steppes loom above, casting long shadows that intertwine with the history of governance and punishment. This juxtaposition creates an atmosphere that is both haunting and reflective. The architectural design of the steppes, purposeful yet foreboding, reflects the intentions of the ruling class. It was a place not only for executions but also a public display meant to instill compliance among the populace. The chilling reality of this method of control is palpable, as each step represents a life extinguished, a lesson in obedience. Thawai of Quantuji, al ditam, as each step represents a life extinguished, a lesson in obedience. Thawai of Quantuji, avan al dejol. The fading light highlights the intricate carvings that adorn the nearby structures. These relics of a tumultuous past continue to provoke contemplation about justice, authority, and the human condition. The Gemonian Steps served as a somber backdrop to the daily life of ancient Romans. This imposing staircase, hewn from stone, connected the Forum with the Tiber River, standing as a reminder of the city's intricate relationship with power and mortality. It was here that the remains of executed criminals were displayed, a stark representation of the consequences of dissent. The sight of the lifeless bodies, exposed to the elements, instilled a sense of order through fear. And this region, the hum of commerce and the chatter of citizens filled the air, juxtaposing the grim reality of punishment with the vibrancy of everyday activities. Merchants hawked their wares, children played in the streets, while philosophers debated the nature of virtue nearby. The steppes became an unwitting stage, where the weight of tragedy mingled with the lightness of life's fleeting moments. The Melnd, its grim history, the Gemonian Steps also symbolized the ideals of Roman civilization. They were a physical manifestation of the complex societal structures that governed this ancient metropolis. Each step echoed with the footsteps of senators, patricians, and plebeians alike, creating a shared space of reflection and discourse. The quiet flow of the Tiber nearby served as a constant reminder of time's passage, hinting at the enduring nature of both life and legacy in this remarkable city. The Gemonian Steps rise starkly against the backdrop of ancient architecture, a monumental testament to the intersection of power and public spectacle. Their stone surface bears the weight of history, where orators once delivered impassioned speeches, shaping the very fabric of Roman political rhetoric. This region, often shrouded in the whispers of past debates, encapsulates a tradition where eloquence was a potent tool for influence. These steps, a venue for public discourse, attracted citizens eager to engage with their leaders. The murmurs of the populace, carried on the gentle breeze, mingled with the fervor of oratory, forming a unique atmosphere of civic engagement. It was here that ideas were not merely exchanged but forged into powerful declarations, echoing through time. The rhetoric employed on these steps often reflected the societal values and aspirations of the era, revealing the pulse of a civilization grappling with its identity. The surrounding ruins stand as solemn witnesses to those moments, their weathered stones preserving the essence of ambitious voices. Each echo of passionate debate reverberated through this gathering place, leaving an indelible mark on the political landscape. The Gemonian Steps, thus, embody a sacred space where language and power intertwined, shaping the course of governance in ancient Rome and influencing the trajectory of future civilizations. The last days of the Gemonian Steps marked a gradual decline, where the echoes of ambitious rhetoric faded into historical amnesia. Once a vibrant locale for public discourse, it became a neglected remnant, weathered by time and the shifting dynamics of the empire. This region, once bustling with the fervor of political life, saw its significance dwindle as the center of power shifted elsewhere, leaving behind whispers of its former glory. The remnants of grand orations were soon replaced by the quiet flow of the Tiber, its waters carrying the weight of history yet untouched by the passage of time. Crumbling structures stood as silent witnesses, their inscriptions eroded, fading into oblivion. The Gemonian Steps transformed into a site of reflection, devoid of the fervor that once defined it. In the shadows of the city, political discourse gave way to more immediate concerns, overshadowed by the complexities of governance. The populace's attention shifted, leaving the steps to succumb to the elements and the inevitable march of history. It became a place of solitude. Visitors, drawn by the allure of antiquity, found the site steeped in a silence that belied its storied past. This quiet decay served as a reminder of the impermanence of power and the fragility of memory, resonating through the ages. The Gemonian Steps reveal a complex interplay between historical significance and contemporary reflection. Constructed to connect the Forum Romanum to the Tiber, these steps served as a pathway for both triumph and tragedy. Their very structure, a silent witness to the passage of time, had a sense of contemplation among modern visitors. The steps, once adorned with the spoils of victory and the remnants of the fallen, now inspired discussions about ethics in leadership and the consequences of ambition. Interpretations of this location have evolved, mirroring society's changing values. Scholars and enthusiasts alike emphasize the duality of its purpose, highlighting the juxtaposition of glory and disgrace. The remnants of this ancient architecture stand testament to a civilization that grappled with the weight of its own achievements and failures. As it continues to weather the effects of time, the Gemonian Steps become a focal point for historians, art enthusiasts, and philosophers alike, each engaging with its legacy in their own way. This region invites reflection on the cyclical nature of history, where the aspirations of leaders can lead to both monumental successes and profound downfalls. In the quiet company of the Tiber, these stones whisper the narratives of power, ambition, and the enduring quest for significance within the human experience. The fascination with the Gemonian Steps extends beyond their historical context, permeating various aspects of popular culture. Artists, writers, and filmmakers have drawn inspiration from these ancient stones, reflecting on themes of ambition, downfall, and human frailty. This region has appeared in numerous literary works, where it serves as a poignant metaphor for the consequences of hubris and the transient nature of power. In film, the Gemonian Steps often symbolize moral decay and the inevitable consequences of unchecked ambition. Visual interpretations showcase the juxtaposition between grandeur and ruin, highlighting how these steps once witnessed the rise and fall of emperors and commoners alike. These ruins evoke a sense of nostalgia, their crumbling facades echoing the past's complexities. Musical compositions have also sought to capture the essence of this historic site. Composers explore the somber tones of loss and reflection, evoking the weight of history embedded within the stones. In modern art, Representations of the Gemonian Steps emerge as a canvas for existential exploration. Through various mediums, creators engage with the haunting beauty of decay, prompting audiences to confront the fragility of human ambition. This enduring intrigue reveals an unbroken connection to the past, reminding contemporary society of its own narratives. The Gemonian Steps serve as a poignant testament to the complexities of human ambition. This imposing structure, once a site of public spectacle, now stands as a silent observer of history's relentless march. Here, the aspirations and failures of a civilization intertwine, reflecting the duality inherent in the pursuit of greatness. The stones bear witness to the ambitions that once echoed through the streets of ancient Rome, where the promise of power often culminated in profound consequences. Surrounding this region, the whispers of the Tiber flow gently, their currents caressing the remnants of a society that strived for immortality through monuments and legacies. The interplay between nature and humanity accentuates the fragility of achievement, where the most illustrious of endeavors may eventually succumb to the passage of time. The Gemonian Steps encapsulate the spectrum of human experience, from the heights of ambition to the depths of downfall. Each step holds stories of those who sought to etch their names into history, their dreams realized or dashed against the hard reality of existence. In contemplating this site, one gains insight into the eternal questions of purpose and legacy, pondering what it means to leave an imprint on an ever-changing world. The silent stones resonate with the collective memory of a civilization, inviting reflection on the nature of ambition itself.